Hello again, friends, and welcome back to the Miami Book Hub. This is now episode 12, amazingly enough. We're hitting our stride. And today we have a couple of great guests, one of whom is sitting here to my right. He is Pedro Medina León. He is an author, an editor, a publisher. You name it, he does it. And we'll get to Pedro in a second. But after Pedro, we also have a quick 5-minute segment that we introduced a few shows ago called Reading with Rochelle. That is with best-selling author Rochelle Weinstein, and she's going to share book picks for the month of June. So stick around for that after our interview and our conversation with Pedro. But sitting to my right now, as I said, is Pedro Medina León. Pedro, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Javier.
Yeah, we'll go with Javier today.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate the opportunity. I really enjoy being here.
Yeah, so one of my early guests was J.J. Colagrande, who is the publisher of Jitney.
Yeah.
The Jitney, I believe.
Jitney.
And I'll tell you, after that show, he wrote me an email, says, you have to have this guy on your program. He is the best.
It's very tricky, JJ, because he sent me a text, you have to call this guy. He told me the same.
It worked. We're here.
It worked. We're here. Yeah.
So which hat do you want to start with here? Publisher, editor, author? Let's go with author because you have your books here.
Author in Arroz con Mango language.
Arroz con Mango.
Very Miami, right?
I love it. I love it. So we have 3 books here. You have some books behind us as well. So you're a prolific writer. You tend to write in Spanish, right?
I write in Spanish.
Okay.
I write in Spanish. I'm the author of 9 books, actually. This is the latest one.
What's it called?
Miami, Mapa Cultural y Pop.
Okay.
This is in Spanish. Only 2 of my books have been translated into English by this crazy JJ. I don't know why he did that.
He's crazy good.
Yeah, I love JJ. He's a crazy good guy. The first book that he translated was this one, Tour, which in Spanish is Una Vuelta por la Cultura Popular de Miami. So if you translate it in English, it's just Tour. But both books are nonfiction books. Both books are nonfiction books, and actually in Spanish are the first 2 books to tell the story of Miami. Yeah. In Spanish, there are no more books. Short essays and chronicles about history and pop culture of Miami. You can see Henry Flagler there, and you can also see Bob Marley there. What are the impact of these guys in the city? Of course, you know where is the impact of Flagler, but there's a lot of people who don't know, Bob Marley history.
People don't even know Flagler. You can't take that for granted because we're a city of transplants. And so many people here aren't from here and they don't have ties to the history. So it's always important to tell the story and not assume that people know.
And there are no more books in Spanish telling this story. And there's something funny here because when I published the first book and when the translation was published also, I started receiving a lot of invitations to do like presentations. I did talks of the book in Boston, New York, telling about, because Miami.
Interesting.
Yeah, because Miami has like everybody
has a reputation.
And as I told you,
people find it really interesting, right? Miami Vice.
Of
CSI
course,
Miami,
the first book was a lot of Miami Vice.
Carl Hyacin books, people love.
Yeah, and the first book you have Miami Vice, a lot of Miami Vice, the Mutiny Hotel. You have the Beatles in Miami, Bob Marley in Miami. There's a lot of pop culture, right? And I had one of these presentations in the Flagler Museum in St. Augustine.
Yes, beautiful.
Yeah, and I got there. There was a line outside. There are a lot of old guys in the line. And I told her, it was a Tuesday, and I thought this might be like a free Tuesday. No, they were going for me. And it was very funny to have a Peruvian guy telling them they were almost all native from Florida. Okay. But it's very interesting to have a Peruvian guy telling them
about their own history.
Yeah, and that's what you tell, because sometimes we don't know. People
Flagler
is just an avenue for a lot of people. You know what I mean?
So you're Peruvian, but you moved to Miami when?
9/11/2002.
And why did you move here?
I think the main reason is because I study law in my country. I drop off in the last semester Because earlier I realized that I like to read and write, but not legal documents, right?
Yeah, those aren't fun.
No, not at all.
Uncreative writing. Creative interpretations.
Exactly. So I that was the main reason. And I moved here because when you are, what I say this is not the main reason, because if you are not happy with your future, you're not happy at all with your life. So I think this is the core of my unhappiness that made me move here. So yeah, I moved in 2002 with the purpose of writing novel. I came with some short stories, and I thought, I'm gonna study literature, and I did study literature. And yeah, that's my story. But it was very funny because I came with just $120 in my pocket.
Wow.
With no fucking papers. You can imagine.
Well, very similar to many people who arrive here with nothing.
Yeah.
And what's great about Miami is you can do that and make something of yourself. It's a very welcoming community.
Yeah, you were born here, but I'm pretty sure that maybe the first generation of immigrants who came, your family, came in the same conditions. Now I have a daughter and a son, and they don't know exactly but it took me like more or less 5 years to assimilate the city and to get a status also.
Sure. But still, that's faster here than anywhere else in the United States for a Latino, I think.
Yeah.
In some places, you'll never be welcome.
I think here in the United States and also in other countries, I think it's not the same to be an immigrant here or in Paris, for example.
Right.
Or in London, for example. It's completely different. Yeah. Here in Miami, it's very different because here the Latin community has power.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because New York, Chicago, not even to say London, Paris, it's...
we're true minorities in those places.
Absolutely. So...
So you came to Miami, you stayed, you were going to become the next Ernest Hemingway. And
I would love to.
Did you always have, because you've written a lot about Miami, was that always the plan, or did you just find the city so interesting that you just gravitated towards that?
None of the above. No.
Either.
No. That was not, of course, the first idea. I moved here with some drafts. I never thought... Let's start by this. For me, Miami was I don't know how to say it in English, but was the most anti-literaria city. I don't know how to say it in English. I don't know if there's a translation for that, but the least literary city in the world, right? So that's funny because I ended up making a living, my life here, writing a lot of books, not only of history and culture of Miami, but all my fiction works are here. The plots happen here. And let me tell you that I never said, okay, I'm going to write this with Miami in the background. No. The fiction's just, they just
comes to you.
Yeah, they come to me. I don't know what I will write next. Oh, well, actually, I'm working in another script, but you never know.
But the great thing about the city is it gives you so much material to work with because it's fascinating.
Oof.
I've always said with other authors, all you have to do is open up the newspaper and you have 12 ideas for a book right there.
Yeah.
Again, and I've said this several times, Carl Hyacin has made a living out of this, right? He literally, I think, opens a newspaper. Oh, there's 2 or 3 different plot lines. Let me write a book. And it's fascinating. That's why, to your point, people in other cities are interested in what happens here because they know it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I know. I'm sure you follow the blog Only in Dade.
Yeah.
I'm like, here's another. Someone made a living out of just pointing out things that happen here on a regular basis, and it's hilarious.
Yeah. And you know, I always say that Miami is more interesting than all the Miamians. I don't know. Again, in English, I don't know if it's a translation for this, but I'll say it in Spanish. Miami es mucho más interesante de lo que Miami mismo cree.
Sí, la verdad.
You know what I mean? It's a very interesting city. It has a very interesting...
We're very hard on ourselves, I think, too.
But you know what? It has a very interesting... Of course, you can't compare Miami with Europe. You can compare Miami with London, Madrid, or Paris.
Claro.
No. If you come here looking for that...
You're going to be disappointed.
Of course. You have to call the travel agency, customer service, hey, come on, give me my money back. You know, Of course... Miami has 100 20-something years. 1896 was registered.
Yeah. It's very young.
Yeah, it's very young. So you can't pretend to have like this.
Sure.
But it has very interesting things in along all his history. I've read a lot because one of the first things that I did when I moved here in 2002 was to go to the public library in Coral Gables. First, because I have internet free there. Back then, there was no cell phones or iPads in every corner, so I have to go to check my Hotmail.
At least it wasn't AOL.
But then, since I love to read, I start getting books about Miami, and I've read a lot of history about Miami, and I think Miami is very interesting.
It is. And you know what? It's very unique. And that's what I love about it. Because there are a lot of interesting cities, but there's no other city like Miami.
No.
Just like, to me, it's almost as unique as New Orleans. I mean, those are the two cities in the U.S. that really stand out as being so different. And it's because the combination of cultures.
Of course.
There's nothing quite like it. So you've written a lot about Miami. What else have you written about? Like, what genre would you say you typically write in? Or do you kind of mix it up?
Mix it up. Yeah. I read and write everything.
Okay.
My readings are fiction. I try to do it like fiction, non-fiction, history, and now I'm reading biographies of soccer coaches.
Oh, so. Interesting.
I'm reading now.
So you're looking forward to FIFA?
But I always try to have one like
interesting.
Yeah.
Why is that? I'm curious. It's just
I love soccer. Yeah. I've read. I also last year was like a biography of a singer. Now is soccer coaches. I love soccer. I love Messi, of course, in Miami. But when you read the history of all these coaches, the biography of all these coaches, there's an interesting history of superación personal. They struggle a lot, not necessarily economic, but they struggle a lot to
reach that point. Yeah. The coaches must be really interesting people. Because at that level, and to deal with the players that they deal with all their egos and everything, and manage to, influence them. Yeah, it can't be easy. So they must be fascinating guys. Yeah, cool. Yeah. And it actually probably gives you an opportunity to meet them, which is, I'm sure, something that's really exciting, right? Of course.
But reading their biographies is like a kind of knowing them,
Yes, that's true.
Approach. I really know a lot of things. Latin community, we're a lot into soccer.
Yeah, of course.
And
it's a religion.
Yeah, exactly. And it's one of the main topics of the conversations that we used to have. And it's interesting because I know a lot of soccer coaches and because of what I read. So
interesting.
Yeah, I like it.
So you did win a big award. It's the Florida
Book Award.
The Florida Book Award.
With that one.
And it was for, what's it called?
Varsovia.
Okay, so tell us about Varsovia. I don't know what Varsovia means. Let's start there. And then what is the book about?
Varsovia in that book is the name of a prostitute.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a person's name.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Because in English, Warsaw is the capital of Poland, right? But her nickname in this book is Varsovia.
Oh, Varsovia is Spanish for Warsaw? Yeah. I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. That's the first book of a saga that I have with a character named El Comanche.
I like it.
J.J. Colagrande fell in love with El Comanche. That's why he published one of these books, because it's like, I'm going to read the brief description that J.J. did of this translation then. But the thing is, Varsovia was the first book. I didn't know it was going to be a saga. I have already 5 or 6 books of this Comanche guy. Mm-hmm. He's a private detective, a retired private detective, to be more precise, that he lives between Little Havana and Miami Beach. And he's tired of investigating cases, so he retires. But he always ends up in a case because a friend or a girl tells him, "Hey, help me with it." Blah, blah. So he always finishes doing an investigation.
Okay.
And this is a case. Varsovia was the first. I didn't know there was going to be a saga, as I mentioned. So this guy, one of the girl that he was dating, told him, "Okay, my friend was stabbed in an alleyway in South Beach Meridian Avenue," something like that. Those alleyways I love those alleyways in Miami Beach.
Interesting things happen there.
Very interesting. And this guy Comanche started like doing his investigation. The real name of Varsovia is Kina, K-I-N-A, in the novel. So he started doing his investigation about Kina, and he realized that she was trying to get into the porn industry under the name Varsovia. And well, he found who stabbed him. It's very I'm not
give away
gonna,
the plot, but I won't ask how much research you did for this book. Okay, but it's an interesting premise. So that is the book that you won the award for.
Yeah.
What is your most recent book?
This one.
So that's the, and so is that the one you're going to read a passage from?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead. Let's do it. And so again, this is in Spanish, right?
Yeah.
Has it been translated yet?
I already talked to JJ about this because he told me, I'm not gonna publish more books, and I told him about this book, and he thought, okay, I'm in New York, let's talk about
it. Until he comes around to yes.
In Spanish is okay.
Sí, por favor.
Okay.
Sigue.
A sangre fría en Ocean Drive. Quizá una de las escenas más impactantes de Scarface sea aquella en la que Tony Montana, Al Pacino, corta el cuello de un narcotraficante con una motosierra en un motel de Miami Beach, en el 728 de Ocean Drive. Décadas después, el 15 de julio de 1997, la misma avenida acaparó titulares mundiales con el asesinato del diseñador Gianni Versace frente a su mansión, la Casa Casuarina, en el 116 de Ocean Drive, cuando volvía a tomar café y leer la prensa en el News Café. Ocean Drive es glamour y decadencia en una sola arteria frente al mar. Es la calle que los locales evitamos, pero que desde sus inicios seduce a productores, cineastas, artistas y turistas de todo el mundo. También fue, sin saberlo, refugio pasajero de dos asesinos que venían huyendo de un crimen brutal. ¿Tú me dices?
No, sigue, como tú quieras.
En 1954, Perry Smith y Richard Hitchcock se conocieron en la Kansas State Penitentiary, donde cumplían condenas menores. Aunque la libertad condicional estaba cerca, el futuro que les esperaba afuera no era alentador. Poblaciones conservadoras, escasas oportunidades, nada que perder. En prisión, Hitchcock entabló amistad con un ex empleado de la granja de la familia Clutter en Holcomb, Kansas, quien le aseguró que Herbert Clutter guardaba una gran suma de dinero en una caja fuerte. Aquella información bastó para trazar un plan. En la madrugada del 15 de noviembre, un Chevrolet negro se detuvo frente a la casa de los Clutter. Smith y Hitchcock habían cruzado el estado entero. Al no encontrar dinero alguno, todo se desvió hacia lo inimaginable. Perry Smith apuñaló a Herbert Clutter en el cuello y luego le disparó. Su esposa e hijos, Kenyon y Nancy, corrieron la misma suerte. Acababan de perpetrar uno de los asesinatos más brutales en la historia de Estados Unidos. Huyeron entonces por distintas ciudades y llegaron incluso hasta Acapulco. Para las fiestas de fin de año eligieron un destino especial, Miami Beach, una ciudad joven con apenas 30 años de fundada, que se promocionaba como un paraíso para veraneantes adinerados. Al Capone había puesto a Miami en el mapa, y lo mismo habían hecho Marilyn Monroe, la arquitectura Art Deco en tonos pastel, las playas de rubias bronceándose al sol, y hoteles legendarios como el Fontainebleau o el Eden Rock. Entre ese brillo, Ocean Drive, concebida desde su origen como la meca del Art Deco, recibió a Smith y Hickok en el Somerset Hotel, Building 335, una pequeña estructura blanca con detalles lavanda. Sus atracciones eran apenas 2 sombrillas clavadas en la arena, una rosa y otra azul, justo al cruzar la calle. Permanecieron ahí 5 días en una habitación doble, pagando $18 semanales. Entre esa postal invernal algo decadente y la piscina del Fontainebleau, transcurrió la estancia de los dos en Miami. Apenas 6 semanas después del crimen, fueron arrestados en Las Vegas, trasladados a Kansas, juzgados y condenados a muerte. La historia de Perry Smith y Richard Hickok fue inmortalizada por Truman Capote en A Sangre Fría, en Cold Blood, hoy considerado un clásico de la narrativa de no ficción y uno de los títulos más importantes del true crime. El Somerset, mientras tanto, es hoy un complejo residencial cuyos habitantes, según reportó alguna vez un diario, no saben quién fue Truman Capote y mucho menos han leído su libro.
That was perfect.
It's one of the secret stories of Miami.
So yeah, no, that's Miami in a nutshell, basically.
Exactly.
It's such an interesting city. And to your point, and you mentioned at the end, people here don't necessarily appreciate it or know about it because they're transplants and other things. So I'm glad you're telling the stories.
Yeah.
And it desperately needed in Spanish, right? Because there's some history about the city in English, but very little in
nothing
Spanish.
in Spanish.
And we're such a Spanish-speaking city.
Of course.
So thank you. Thank you for doing that. And I love that you started on Ocean Drive. So I have a scene in my book that
really?
starts, well, there's a lot going on Ocean Drive. There's
I would
a
love
chase
to read
scene.
your book.
I mentioned the Betsy Hotel.
Oh.
Of course, Mitch Kaplan is a character in my book who lives in the Betsy Hotel.
Oh, my God.
It's a whole thing. So,
poor Mitch.
so we have that connection on Ocean Drive. That's great.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot of interest. There are a lot of interesting things in Miami or about Miami, like these stories. There are, like, as I told you, we have a lot of secrets that Miami, that you never know. There's a lot of people, for example, who they don't know where did Bob Marley died. Bob Marley died here in downtown Miami.
Yeah.
I know a lot of Miami of people who was born and raised in Miami. When I do my research, I ask them, where was Bob Marley? Where did Bob Marley die? Jamaica.
No, right here.
Jamaica.
Yeah.
There are a lot of interesting stories.
A lot of his relatives lived here. Yeah. They may still. I don't even know.
See, Marley lives here.
Yeah, but look at you. All these names somehow touch our city.
Of course.
You said Al Capone. FDR got shot here in Miami.
Yeah, I also have a chapter of...
people forget about that. Versace. I mean, you mentioned 4 or 5 already in your book, and there's so many more.
And if you move from the crime scene, there are also... Miami has a lot of faces. For example, there was very interesting place for the music back. Of course, currently it's a very interesting for Latin music, but I don't like current Latin music, to be honest with you. But during the 60s or 70s, it was in Criteria Studios in Biscayne Boulevard. There was a lot of, Eric Clapton. I have like the chapter of Eric Clapton here. You have Bee Gees, Queen, one of the... You know what was one of the first concerts of Queen outside the UK was here in the Miami Arena, in the Miami...
The old Orange Bowl, maybe?
No. The stadium that is outside Key Biscayne, Miami Marina Stadium.
Miami Marine Stadium.
And the people they got like amazed because the people was in the water and they were
watching.
Yeah, they were promoting.
I've never heard that. I knew that Jimmy Buffett played there and some others. I didn't realize that Queen had
Allen Ginsberg.
That's great.
The poet Allen Ginsberg. Yes. Yeah, he was censored there. Yeah, he was.
Wow.
Yeah, and there are a lot of interesting stories there.
I wish they'd bring that back, the Marine Stadium. What an amazing venue. And it's been sitting there falling apart for all these years.
With a lot of graffitis.
Yeah, the graffiti's fascinating.
Yeah, but there's a lot of interesting story back in that place.
Right. So that is your most recent published work. What are you working on now?
I'm working in another Comanche book.
Okay.
Because, I wasn't planning to write that book. I have everything in my head already to write a book about Al Capone in Miami back in the at the end of his life when he died here in Miami. But I don't know why this guy Comanche came. And he did,
like
right.
Like you're possessed by him, right?
Exactly. Come on.
To get it out.
Writing about Comanche, one more.
Ideal.
Yeah.
That's good. Listen, I love a series. And I think a lot of people now love series.
Yeah.
And they're used to it because, of all the series on TV and everything. Yeah. Do you hope or are you working towards making the Comanche series a TV series or a film?
You know what? I wrote this book that I'm in the process of finishing the edits. In my head, it was like an idea of a format for a TV show.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, I'm going to write this thing because it's not letting me sleep.
You have to get it out.
Yeah, but a very different format. Like, I'm not going to say a script, but it's a very dynamic, a lot of action, every chapter with a cliffhanger. So, yeah.
Well, good. I look forward to seeing it. I know it's not easy. Pedro, if people are interested in learning more about you or your works or to purchase a book, where should they go?
Books and Books, Amazon, Barnes & Noble.
Do you have a website?
Yeah. PedroMedinaLeon.com.
Oh, that's a nice one. Very good.
Yeah, it's very popular.
PedroMedinaLeon.com. I believe we have it scrolling on the screen. So please check it out. Again, 9 works, and we've only discussed maybe 2 or 3 of them. So there's a lot more to learn. So Pedro, listen, unfortunately, that's all the time we have. Believe it or not, the time goes by quickly. But I want to thank you for being a guest. I want to thank you for telling the story of Miami and the history. It's always great to see that, especially from an outsider. You've been here 20 years. You're basically a native.
No. But that's interesting.
Sometimes it does take someone to come in from the outside to appreciate what we take for granted.
Yeah, so, I've been living here for 24, 25 years, but I think that I'm like an outsider observer.
Yeah.
I have the distance to like an observer.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you. And wishing you much success moving forward.
Thank you very much.
Thank you to JJ for connecting us. JJ, if you're watching.
You have to.
Keep them coming.
Yeah.
So, folks, that's all the time we have for this segment. But as I said, we're going to move into reading with Rochelle in a little bit. So please continue watching. And for those of you watching at home, don't go anywhere. One of the things we're really excited about introducing to our Miami Book Hub program is a regular feature where my guest, Rochelle Weinstein, is going to recommend 4 books for the coming month. It's going to be called Reading with Rochelle, as the name behind us implies. And so we're starting here with June. We got 4 books that you've selected. So that people could, maybe take them to the beach.
Yes,
it's kind of vacation season.
Yes, it's vacation season. The kids are out of school. Hooray, no school zones, more time to read. We're starting with Off the Record by Sarah Goodman Confino. It's this beautiful, colorful, light cover, but don't let it fool you because Sarah writes with depth and wit, and her stories are always so engaging and real page turners. So this one is about an aspiring reporter who stumbles upon a Cold War mystery where she risks her life and her future for the story that might just change her career.
Wow, I love it already.
I love
it
already.
Up my alley.
I love it already. There's Jewish representation, and like I said, there's Sarah's sharp wit and her incredibly compelling storytelling. So grab this one, and then make sure you grab her backlist as well. I'm a huge fan.
Fantastic. Off the Record is on my list.
So next up we have Lee Goldberg, and I hope everybody can see this. And this is Lee Goldberg, Murder and Design. This one already came out. Sarah's actually comes out June 9th. But we meet Edison Bixby in this novel, and I'm very intrigued by Edison Bixby because he's handsome, he's wealthy, and he's a successful insurance investigator. But because of a traumatic brain injury, he is incredibly rude.
Okay.
So he's working on his first case is with a woman who has slipped in a mall. And he's been partnered with this struggling actor who tries to keep him in line and keeps him from, really offending people. So this is Lee Goldberg. I know so many readers know Lee Goldberg. He's superbly incredible suspense writer. And I just think that you have such a great mix of his fun characters and a suspenseful read. So I'm looking forward to checking this one out.
That sounds like fun too.
Yeah.
Another cool cover. I'm a sucker for cool covers.
Yeah. Murder by Design. Okay. So next up we have the infamous Whistler, Ann Patchett. I mean, she's just such a goddess. She's just such a luminous, beautiful, evocative writer. So this one follows a 53-year-old woman who reunites with her estranged stepfather. And it's just a beautifully written story. I haven't read it yet, so I don't know if it's a beautifully written story, but I can attest if it's Ann Patchett, it's going to be a beautifully written story. So it's about how they reunite, and it really exemplifies love, the bonds of childhood that are never really broken, and really being seen. I love that message on what it means to be seen. So I'm excited to jump into this one, Whistler, Ann Patchett.
Very cool.
And last but not least, we have, it is, and I love this cover too. Yeah. It's Behind White Picket Fences by Christine Gunderson. So this is for all the moms who are on summer break right now and have been doing the rat race and pedaling through the hamster cage that need a break. And this is their mommy female friendship book. So it's a modern take on motherhood and female friendship when these friends unearth this big secret that really disavows and calls into question this seemingly perfect neighborhood. Mm-hmm. So nothing's ever what it seems, right? So moms, give yourself a little break this summer. For sure. So those are my 4 reads for the month of June, and I hope you'll add those to your TBR and let us know how you like them. I'm going to share my comments about how I like them in the future.
Well, there you go, folks. You have 4 great reads. You have 4 weeks to read them, so 1 book a week, and then you'll start reading the July picks, right? So thanks again, Rochelle. I think this is going to be a fun addition to the Miami Book Hub. I don't do a lot of reading, so I need you to do this, and you do such a great job of it. So
I love reading. I love supporting authors. Make sure to go to Books and Books to find these books.
Absolutely. Support your local bookstore.
And if Mitchell doesn't have them, you need to tell him to get them. But also go on bookshop.org to support local indie authors around, local indie bookstores around the country.
Right. And one of the authors you can support is Rochelle Einstein. I believe we have her website scrolling on there. But if people want to learn more about you and your books, where should they go, Rochelle?
RochelleWeinstein.com. And my favorite place to connect really is on Instagram. So find me, sign up for my newsletter. I love to connect.
Subscribe, all that good stuff.
Follow, subscribe, like. I love to connect with readers.
And folks, please do the same for the Miami Book Hub. Like us, subscribe, share, follow along. We have some great guests lined up. We have future readings with Rochelle. That's going to be every month. So keep coming back for those and for all of the wonderful guests that we have lined up. I also want to thank Miami's Community News, by the way, for hosting and producing this program. And Emily in particular, who's behind the screen there. Even though she's sick, she's a champ and she came in to produce. So thank you, Ems. Appreciate it. And I want to thank you for joining us here today. Please, again, like, subscribe, share, let people know about the program. We're doing good things. We're having great conversations. And Miami's literary community really deserves to be celebrated and promoted. So do your part. With that, until next time, folks, please keep reading, keep writing, and stay curious.